said to you I'm going to come and see this gem, and it's a 1958 Pemberton. I think it's a silver Starlite. I've got to check that up, but it's definitely 1958. And let's have a look around it. This is a caravan that is owned by a lady called Heather, and her parents bought this in 1966. So the caravan was 8 years old. It was originally on another site, and they bought it and had it moved to this side. So they saw them have a little advertisement and saw the site and said they'd love to come on this site. And this is what they did. And this has never moved since 1966. So that's a few years. Let's come around the front end here. The van is in very nice original condition. The centre band would have been red in the middle there. But look at the windows, there's still the original windows. And the chassis was known by a company called Peak Trailers, who were made at Stockport. And Pemberton, amongst other manufacturers, also used them. Now come down here in the sunlight, it's a bit warm around here, a bit chilly in that wind. Now if you're thinking this caravan wasn't insulated, it was. It was insulated by Roxil. And again, a lot of the companies in the 50s used this. It was like a matting. And I'm not sure it was an American insulation, but a lot of manufacturers used it. Now here at the back end is a compartment for the gas originally. That's where you put the gas in, and also the bits and bobs. Let's come around here. Now this van, let's get around. Got to be careful because it is a bit. I'll end up going down and falling off. But this van would have been towed by something like a Land Rover at the time. It wouldn't have gone on a wagon. It would have been towed. Hence the number plate there. And road lights, well, they wouldn't bother. They just wouldn't have bothered. Two doors, one that goes through in the back in the kitchen, and one that comes into the front lounge. Now the thing was, Heather's a lovely lady and she's been kept on top of it. It did have some water ingress in it, but she got it sorted. And these are the original wheels and tyres. The chassis I looked at underneath is fine, but when her parents had it, she remembered coming up here as a little girl and having many a holiday here. This step was what her dad did, and the step there on that other side as well. Because I said, there's still the old step. She said, well, my dad put that in. And I said, I can understand that, keep that. So let's go in. Wow, this is like going into a time machine. There's no doubt about it. It's phenomenal. The cushions have been put in extra, but this would have been originally your backrests. This would have been 2 single beds. It slept 4, and that's your lockers. And look at that, one of the original gas lights as well, which still work. But look at these windows. The intricate, look at these. No double glazing back in those days. But there'll be a table that go in the middle here, you'll have your meals. It's fantastic. I'm just loving this. Look at that original roof vent still in there after all these years. And we've got the plate there, Pemberton Caravans Wigan, and insulated by Roxil. Now I'm not going to open any cupboard doors because that wouldn't be very good of me to do that, but wardrobe, look at the mirror, But look at the wood, it was proper wood. And don't forget, Pemberton were a mass producer of caravans, and they produced a lot of caravans in the 50s and 60s and early 70s. And again, another wardrobe here, and this bit here is a partition, solid partition, and what would have happened is at night time you'd have sealed this off and this would have gone across. Usually that would have, I won't go into the wood, but that would have fitted onto the, you'd have had the wardrobe door open and that, and you'd have clipped it on there. But look at this, van is really warm and toasty inside, and look, we've got a proper stove. Now she said that's not the original but she says I think this one's getting a little bit stuck as well. But there you go, and that's your airing cupboard, because of course you'd put your washing in there and it would dry it out nicely. I'm going to do this all on one take. Look at this. Now this is a bench seat, but this would come out here as a bed. This would be a drop down bed, so this would come out the wall bed and it would be made up, so it would come down. This table is obviously some years later, but that table would have been, they would have had that sort of table here, which would have gone there in the middle. Someone's added a newer gas light, say a new one, that's probably from the 70s. Again, we've got that little roof vent up the top there. And here what I do like is the bureau. Look at it, it's got the chest of drawers, it's got your cupboards, it's fantastic. And the wood, you know, okay, think about it, these were mass produced, these were not an expensive caravan, but it's really, craftsmanship was still used. And again, more storage here too. Now we're going to go into the kitchen in a minute. Right, so what are your thoughts about this already? I'm absolutely thinking it's fascinating. I'm just, as a child, well, even sort of really up to about 30 years ago, you would still find caravans of this ilk on this site. And this site had another caravan, an old Fairham from, again, we think the early 60s, but that was scrapped. Don't tell me anymore. It's a shame, it could have gone to a good home. I think it was about an 18-foot, and they scrapped it, and there was nothing really all that wrong with it. Well, anyway, let's go into the kitchen area, and I'll show you all about them there. Right, here we go. A separate kitchen. Now there's been some modifications done in here by Heather's dad. He was very good at doing bits and bobs, and of course what happened was, like we do with our homes, we modernise them, don't we? We change things, and it's been happening since time immemorial. You go to an old hall that was like built in the 16th something, but they've added this and that on in the 17th century, and it's basically, you know, sometimes they've basically lost what was the original bit. And that happens with the cars, caravans and everything. And this isn't quite like that. It has had some modernisation, but it's still got, maintains that real authentic feel. Sink unit in there was, turning around, would have been plastic. There wouldn't have been any, there would have been pumped water through, but it would have been a big hand pump, I'm pretty sure of that. Heather's dad put a whale foot pump in there, so cold water only. The cupboards, well, they've been, I think these have all been sort of new drawers in there. This wood is sort of looking typically late 70s, 80s, and was given, you know, to make this a bit more modern. And also some lockers as well up the top here have been added as well. Because again, they've had a new sort of more of a modern finish on them. Same with the gas light. That original one got broken, and that was fitted probably again in the 70s. You got your little window here to look out of, and you've got your vent. But here in this corner would have been the washroom. Well, when I say the washroom, it would have literally been a room, a little room. So from about here to there would have been enough to just get your toilet in there, which was a chuck it and throw it away jobby. And this is your other entrance door, of course, to come into this kitchen area. Now, Heather's dad's put all new, well, back in the day it was all new, wooden, new cupboard doors on with this on. It would be then quite modern at the time, but these would have had originally different panel doors on there. But this is a bit of the original finish just around here, that little bit of a strip. As I say, we come to the cooker now. That is original. That's 1958. Wow, look at that. There's the old sort of knobs there. And she said the only thing that's not working now on this is the oven's not working proper at all on it. Those kettles look pretty ancient as well, don't they? They look pretty much the same. But all this sort of tile thing would have been original. And again, the surface has been redone. So I think it's been a case of, like we do, don't we? We make a new kitchen and rip it out and put a new kitchen in when we're at home every so often. And that's what's happened here in the van. And it was not uncommon. Now the other interesting thing is this fridge, because obviously the fridge wasn't included, but this is an old Electrolux fridge. It does work off electrics and it works off gas, so I would say this is probably around about very early 80s fridge, but she said it's not working just at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. So yes, he took the toilet away and decided to put a fridge there and alter things a bit. And then to close this off, her father put this sliding door on. It would have been an open shut door. Right, let's have a little think let's have a little chat about this. Well, this to me is just like going back in time. It's very original, and when I found out about this fan a while ago now, and I said to Heather, the owner, I said, can you send me some pictures? Thinking it could be painted all inside, but when she sent me them, it was absolutely original, and I thought, my God, I've got to go and see that. And it took a further some months, actually maybe 12 months, to actually come to this point and get to video it. Now Heather doesn't want to be on the video, and that's fair enough, or on any photographs, because hopefully this is going to feature in Park Home and Holiday Living magazine. Like and subscribe. If you've not seen this channel, please share it or whatever, and please give us your comments. See you on the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now, from an undisclosed location.